All right, so you're going deep on this one. The Schumann resonance. It's pretty wild.
Yeah, it's definitely something else.
You know, it's like Earth's heartbeat, right?
Yeah.
Like a frequency
Yeah,
from lightning in the atmosphere.
that's the one.
But here's the thing. This heartbeat, it used to be super steady,
Mm-hmm.
like 7.83 hertz.
Mm-hmm.
But it seems to be changing.
It's definitely been acting up.
Yeah, and some people are even saying it's messing with human consciousness.
And time.
Time, too, yeah.
It's pretty out there.
It is. And what's crazy is our sources say this isn't new. You know, like back in 2014, the Schumann resonance was already doing weird stuff.
Yeah, I remember that.
It was hitting frequencies of 15, 25 hertz, which even back then was pretty strange.
Definitely unusual.
But then, get this, 2017, it just spikes to over 36 hertz,
That's huge.
more than 5 times higher than normal. So what's that all about? What does that even mean?
Well, okay, first you got to understand how they measure this thing, right?
Yeah.
Scientists all over the world, they got these special instruments to track the electromagnetic waves.
Wow.
And you can actually find websites that show the data live.
Really? So I can
Oh,
just like watch Earth's heartbeat change?
Pretty much.
That's wild. But how does lightning make these waves go all the way around the planet?
It's because of the ionosphere. Basically, like the top part of our atmosphere kind of acts like a ceiling.
Okay.
So the lightning makes these waves, and they bounce between the Earth and the ionosphere.
You do like a...
A resonance, yeah. Creates a standing wave.
Makes sense. But some of our sources say, get this, that human consciousness can mess with these magnetic fields.
I know, right?
Especially when everyone's feeling like really strong emotions. Pretty bold claim, don't you think?
Oh, yeah, for sure. It's controversial, no doubt.
Right.
But some researchers, they believe that we humans, we have all these potentials like hidden inside, like intuition or being super creative or even healing, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And they think it could be connected to this energy field of the Earth and the Schumann resonance.
So maybe when we're all feeling the same thing really intensely, it's like...
It's like turning up the volume.
Right. Like we're adding to the frequency somehow.
Yeah, something like that.
Whoa. And you know how everyone keeps saying time is speeding up? Could that be tied to this whole Schumann resonance thing too?
Well, think about it. Our brain waves, they naturally sync up with the Schumann resonance.
Yeah.
So if it's getting higher, our perception of time could be changing too. Like our internal clock is speeding up because the Earth's heartbeat is faster.
So instead of 24 hours feeling like a day, it's more like 18.
Or even less.
Wow. I've definitely had days that just fly by.
You and everyone else, right? There are all these online communities talking about it, like a global thing.
It is. And you know what's weird? There was this one specific event. The Russian Space Observing System, back in 2014, they saw it jump to 8.5 hertz.
Out of nowhere.
Oh, yeah, that was big.
Like a turning point. The steady 7.83 was gone. Yeah, things definitely changed after that.
For sure. And remember how the Schumann resonance is connected to our brainwaves? Like the alpha and theta states?
It's one's for relaxation, creativity.
Yeah, exactly. So if these frequencies keep going up, wouldn't that affect us mentally and emotionally?
It would make sense, wouldn't it?
Yeah. So maybe that's why people are feeling more tired.
Or dizzy. Depressed, even.
Yeah. Or just like
Yeah.
weird.
It could be that our bodies are like trying to adapt to this new energy, like a new Earth almost.
A new Earth. Wow. Speaking of which, our sources mentioned something about the Earth's magnetic field weakening.
Uh-huh.
And there's this theory that the magnetic field is actually blocking like our primordial memories.
I've heard of that.
So what if it gets weaker? Does that mean all those memories come back?
Like the veil is lifting.
Yeah, exactly.
Now that is a mind-blowing idea. What happens if we start remembering everything? Who we are, where we come from?
Okay, now that is getting deep.
Yeah.
I think we need a minute to process all of this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, right? It's a lot to take in.
We'll be back in a bit to unpack it all.
It is interesting you bring up that magnetic field thing. You know, it's not just some crazy theory. Scientists have been tracking it for years, decades, really. And it looks like it's been going on for way longer.
Oh, wow.
Really, even thousands of years.
So it's not like just a little weaker. Is there a chance it could just disappear? Poof.
Well, that's the big question, isn't it? Scientists are still trying to figure that out.
Yeah.
Some think it's like a cycle, you know. It weakens, then gets stronger again.
Oh, okay.
But others, they think we might be heading for a pole reversal.
A what? A pole reversal? What is that?
Basically, the North and South poles, they flip.
No way.
Yeah, but it's not like overnight. It would take a long time. hundreds or thousands of years even.
Oh, okay. So no instant apocalypse.
Not that we know of.
But a weaker magnetic field, wouldn't that still mess things up?
Oh yeah, for sure. Like our navigation systems. Total chaos.
And think about animals, the ones that migrate. They use the magnetic field to find their way. They'd be lost.
That's true.
And the worst part, we'd be wide open to solar storms.
Solar storms, those sound scary.
They can be pretty bad. Imagine everything shutting down, power grids, satellites, even electronics getting fried.
Oh man. Okay, I don't like the sound of that. But can we go back to that veil lifting thing and the true heritage? What are people saying about what's behind that veil?
Well, it depends who you ask, really. There are a lot of different ideas out there. Some people think it's about, like, ancient knowledge coming back.
Oh, yeah.
Memories that have been hidden for ages.
Yeah.
Others say it's about, like, a spiritual awakening, feeling more connected to the universe.
I can see that.
And then there are some who believe it's about psychic powers, or even, like, aliens.
Whoa. Okay, that's getting a little out there. But how does any of this affect us, like in our everyday lives? How can we get ready for all this stuff? The magnetic field, the awakening, all of it.
That's the thing. It's not so much about getting ready in the, like, traditional sense. It's more about being flexible, adaptable, being open to new things. It's about accepting that we don't know everything. And that's okay.
So no need to build a bunker.
Probably not.
Okay, good to know. So more like focusing on inner strength.
Exactly. Shifting from worrying about the outside world to, like, changing ourselves from the inside. Because as the earth changes, we can change too.
Okay, I like that. Seeing it as a chance to grow, not something to be scared of. But how do we actually do that? What are some things people can do to deal with all this energy stuff? And maybe even tap into those powers we were talking about.
Well, there are lots of paths you could try. It's a personal thing, you know.
Yeah.
But some things that might help are, like, meditation, mindfulness, spending time in nature.
Oh, yeah. Nature is great.
It's about connecting with yourself, finding your intuition and wisdom.
So like trusting your gut feeling.
Yeah, like that. And don't forget about community. Find people who are into this stuff too. Sharing your experiences can really help. It's like we're all figuring this out together.
Community is important. It helps to know you're not the only one going through it. But what about the people who are already feeling like overwhelmed by this stuff? What would you tell them?
I'd say, first of all, you're not alone. There are so many people out there who are feeling these changes, and there are people who can help. Teachers, healers, communities. Reach out to them, talk about it.
Yeah, that makes sense. Just knowing you're not alone can be really comforting. But what about those like physical symptoms we were talking about? The fatigue, the dizziness, the mood swings. Is there anything people can do about that?
Well, taking care of yourself is super important. Getting enough rest, eating healthy, and things like grounding or energy work can help your body adjust. And try to limit how much time you spend around electronics. Create a space where you can relax and recharge.
So it's about treating your whole self,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Body, mind, and spirit.
Exactly. It's not just about surviving. It's about thriving in this new world. And remember, change can be hard, but it can also be a really good thing. It's a chance to discover new things about yourself, new strengths, new creativity, and to be part of something bigger, like the evolution of consciousness itself.
That's a cool way to look at it.
Yes.
It's not about fighting change. It's about using it to become better. But I bet some people think this is all a bunch of hooey.
Oh, definitely. Anytime you talk about things that are outside of, like, normal science, there are going to be skeptics.
Of course.
But that's okay, actually. Skepticism is important. It makes us ask questions and look for proof.
So how do we deal with these like opposite views? The science people and the spiritual people.
I think it's about finding a middle ground. We can admit that science doesn't know everything, but also be open to things that we can't explain yet.
Right. Like just because we can't prove something doesn't mean it's not real.
That's it. And maybe someday, as we learn more, we'll be able to figure out these mysteries and connect the science and the spiritual.
This has been a wild ride. It really feels like we're on the edge of something huge.
It does, doesn't it?
Before we talk about what people can actually do to handle all this, let's take a breath and let it all sink in. We'll be right back to explore some practical steps for embracing this new reality and unlocking your potential. All right, so we're back, and let's get down to brass tacks. I'm sure some of you listening are thinking, okay, all this stuff is pretty mind-blowing, but what am I supposed to do about it? Like, how do we actually deal with these energy changes and maybe even unlock those extraordinary potentials we were talking about?
That's the million-dollar question, right? And the thing is, it's a journey, not a quick fix. It's about figuring out what works for you.
So there's no like one-size-fits-all manual.
Not really, but there are some things that might help. Like, for starters, pay attention to your energy levels. With the Schumann resonance going up, it can be really draining.
You're telling me I need more naps. I can get behind that. But seriously, what can we do to, like, manage our energy with all this stuff happening?
Well, naps are never a bad idea, but it's also about eating healthy and being aware of all the electronics around us. All those EMFs can zap your energy.
So like creating a chill space
Yeah.
where you can recharge without all the electronic buzz.
Exactly. And it's also really important to find something that helps you connect with yourself. Could be meditation, yoga, being out in nature, writing, anything creative, whatever helps you tune in to your intuition.
So it's like listening to that inner voice.
Yes,
Yeah.
trusting your gut. And remember, community.
Right, finding your people.
Yeah, find people who get it. Sharing experiences can be so helpful. It's like we're all in this together, right? Mapping out this new territory.
Exactly. We need each other on this journey.
Are there like specific places or groups you'd recommend for people who want to connect with others?
There's so much out there now, online forums, groups on social media, even local meetups. You just got to find what feels right for you and take that first step. Great advice. And speaking of taking steps, what about all the like weird stuff that might happen as we go through this shift? We talked about synchronicities, intuition, maybe even seeing things that seem like impossible. How do we handle that?
It's a balance. You have to be curious, but also use your judgment. Be open to new things, but also be aware that not everything is good for you. If something feels wrong, back off. Or talk to someone you trust.
It's like exploring a new place. Be cautious, trust your instincts, and don't be afraid to ask for directions.
Exactly. And don't forget to celebrate the little wins, those moments of clarity and connection. It's a wild ride, and you're making progress every step of the way.
Well said. This has been an amazing deep dive. We talked about the science of the Schumann resonance, the theories about a global awakening. It's been a lot. But really, it's just the beginning. Keep exploring, keep asking questions, keep listening to your inner voice.
I love that. And as the Earth's heartbeat changes, we can change too. We can become more aware, more connected, more powerful than we ever thought possible. It's a time of huge change, but also a time of amazing potential.
And remember, you're not alone on this journey. We're all in this together. So keep diving deep, keep reaching for the stars, keep sharing your light with the world. Who knows what we can create if we work together? Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, and until next time, keep exploring the wonders within and all around you.